What's something you'll never eat again and why? Buffalo wing flavored Oreos. Why? Well, they can only be found in China, and they taste like chicken mixed with cream that's been sitting around for 6 months. My grandmother's scones. They were made from a recipe she came up with during WW2 to work with the rations they had, and they were pretty unique and delicious. I'll never eat them again because after she passed, many years ago, no one has been able to replicate them. So they will forever remain a fond memory of my gran. Grilled chicken from Wendy's. I got one that was 50% gristle one day. Worst bite of my life and I was immediately sick. As soon as I handed it to them they rushed it into the back, manager came out and just apologized and offered me another one. It's been 25 years, I can still taste the disgustingness. Those cups of chocolate pudding. When I was in elementary school, had one, ate halfway through it, and then there was a layer of mold hidden in it. Nope. Can't do it anymore. When I was in the Philippines I was convinced to try this egg with a partially formed chick inside. Supposed to slurp that shit down like an oyster. Did it once by trying to channel by inner Burdain. Midway through I was also ready to hang myself. Edit. So noted, it's called ballot. Also noted, it was a duck and not a chicken. Shirako. So took me out for a fancy meal when we lived in Japan. They served a lot of delicious small dishes, and the waitress did a good job describing each one. Except for shirako. It was white, milky, and soft. So and I both ate it and didn't talk about it until we left the restaurant. Finally I had to speak up. That was a fish sperm sac, wasn't it MHMM? Fondant icing. Like sugary Play-Doh. Oatmeal. I used to work at Six Flags Great America. I worked the teacup ride by Raging Bull. This group of girls come in and are like which cup spins the fastest, and I pointed out which one, check the cups, and run the ride. They came up to me afterwards saying that their friend didn't realize how fast they were going to be spinning. I went to take a look and holy shit. It was like someone made a fucking pot of oatmeal and dumped it all over this cup. I literally had oatmeal for breakfast that day, and that's the last time I've ever eaten it. You couldn't even pay me to touch oatmeal ever again. Pancakes. It was the last thing my wife ate the day she unexpectedly died, and I made them and messed them up. Natto, smells like rotten feet, has the look and texture of wallpaper paste. I got really sick after eating a cinnamon roll when I was about 14. I'm 33 now and haven't had one since. Liver has a really weird rubbery, grainy texture that I really didn't like, and the flavor was pretty gross as well. Not for me. I also have the gene that makes cilantro taste like soap, so get that shit off my food. Pork chops. My father wanted them literally every other day when I was a child. I swore when I moved out I would never touch another one. And I haven't 10 years later. Caviar. I've tried all the oh no, this isn't like other caviar so you'll like this kinds, and it's all like dumping salt and fish oil down my throat. Monkey brains. I tried it once, it tasted exactly like refried beans, I can say I did it, so I never need to try them again. Dairy Queen. I used to work there and they treat their employees like shit. They actively sought out teenagers getting their first job, so we wouldn't have any reference to how poorly we were treated. Sour apple anything. When I had first started drinking, my friend gave me a bottle of booze, telling me it was a pre-made sour apple mixed drink, so I drank a whole glass of it. It just said sour apple on the label, so my dumbass didn't question it and didn't know enough about alcohol to taste the difference. Turns out it was straight vodka, and I drank probably 12 shots of it. I vomited so much that evening. To this day 10 years later, even just thinking about consuming anything sour apple flavored turns my stomach. Shrimp. I ate a pound of them once and realized I'm actually allergic to the type of shrimp I had. So, now I can't eat any shrimp or shellfish because I'll get ill. Oranges and orange flavored things. Had these Carsick pills when I was a kid, they were orange flavored, and I honestly think the only reason I didn't throw up after taking them is that they are an anti-nausea pill. Reubens. Had them for Mother's Day and my brother puked his up all over the floor. Rather than clean it up like a normal person, my dad just called our dog in and well yeah. Sweetbreads. Very deceiving name. Broccoli quiche. I ended up getting sick that night and throwing it all up. Even just thinking about it makes me nauseous. Never again. Tripe. I was happy when I knew it was some kind of meat from a cow. But once I learned what part of the cow, it made me sick to my stomach. I can't understand why, either. I mean, I've eaten cow tongue, beef liver, and all kinds of other stuff. Why tripe upsets me is something I can't figure out. Mall Chinese, because I pooped on the floor while I was vomiting. Personally, I make it my rule to try anything at least once a year. But never again escargot. Once made a tuna wrap and added what I thought was tzatziki. It was actually vanilla-flavored Greek yogurt. I literally felt a cognitive disconnect originating on my tongue. Unit, sea urchin. It was like a large snot mucus ball sliding down my throat. Didn't taste all that bad, but the texture was freaking awful. We were at a sushi place for lunch in Beach Town about 4 days after the last of the local school went back, so it was absolutely dead in there. We had a really good meal, and the waitress came over and asked if we had had Una before. Neither of us had. She said the chef would comp us dessert if we each ate 2 free pieces. Okay, sounds great to us. Yay, we both choked it down, had a good dessert and left. Thanks for the free sweets, but the lingering presence of the Una kind of killed the dessert. That chef was an evil genius, haha. Andouillette, also known as La Belle Andouillette ancienne de Troyes, a type of sausage from France made from a pig's colon and innards. I didn't understand what it was when I ordered it, but thought it smelled weird. Then I tasted it concentrated piss and shit flavor with a rubbery texture. I spat it out and almost vomited it up and sent it back. But the waitress insisted on charging me for it anyway and told me I had an unsophisticated palate and should order a cheeseburger next time. So then I went to a fast food place and ordered a cheeseburger. Subway. One bad food poisoning experience a couple years ago, and I'll never go back. Even the smell of those restaurants still make me gag. Some food I don't even know the English name of. It's basically some peppery saucy vegetable stuff that made me vomit the last time I ate it. Okra. Stop telling me I'll like it the way you make it. No, I won't. Kailat, for whatever reason they smell repulsive. African horned melon. When I was young, my mother went to the store and I said I wanted a cucumber. She found this weird green bumpy thing, so she decided to get it. Come lunch, I have it, and I see this weird, slimy inside. I can already tell that it is not a cucumber, and I wouldn't like it. I eat it and begin to gag from how rancid it tasted. I revolted back in disgust. There were still around 10 more mouthfuls of this thing. I didn't want to tell my mother because she bought it and I didn't want to waste it or seem like a brat, so I kept eating it until my mother found me in the living room gagging on each spoonful. Yes, spoonful. I don't remember where the hell we shopped or how it was there in the first place. I just remember it was that. Edit. It wasn't spoiled, it was very green, so it was likely underripe. Durian. Used to love them and my cousin hated it, but ever since he committed suicide, it tastes different to me. Lychee fruit. My great-grandma's crazy old friend forced me to eat it when I was a kid. The texture and the flavor are revolting to me, and it reminds me of an eyeball. 2 things. Coffee, because something that smells so good should not taste so disgusting. General Tso chicken or orange chicken. The last time I had it, I had food poisoning for 3 days. I was still throwing up on day 3 with nothing but Gatorade in my system. Never ever again. I'm hesitant to Chinese food since. Taro-flavored food or drinks. Not sure what it was, but I had a taro milkshake some time ago that wasn't even bad, and now I can't stomach it anymore. Octopus. Tried it once in Japan, did not like the texture at all. There's a kind of fish soup that I used to love here in Korea. One time I caught a fish out of a dirty creek, made fish soup with it, got sick, vomited everywhere. I can't stand that soup anymore. It's not that it even tastes bad, just tied too strongly to shitty fish memories. Shellfish. Learned the hard way I need to carry an EpiPen now. Meat after giving it up a few years ago for the animals, the thought grosses me out massively now. Ginger covered in chocolate. I once tried it in some kind of store, and it was the most disgusting thing I've ever had. I thought I was going to enjoy a peaceful piece of chocolate. Wrong, it was so disgusting I can't even put it to words. Molten chocolate cake from Chili's. When I was young, around 8 or 9, for some reason my parents let me get one for myself when I asked. I managed to eat the whole darn thing, and after I was done I leaned back in my seat and proclaimed, "I'm never doing that again." Not only has that become a regular quote with my family, but I have held true to that promise and have never done that again, nor will I ever. Baked spaghetti. Because this no-cooking white girl put sour cream and ranch in the spaghetti. My hunger vanished the second that atrocity touched my tongue. I put that shit in the garbage disposal where it belonged. I will never, ever eat baked spaghetti again because of that. No exceptions. I'll eat sweaty man ass before I eat that disaster again. Chicken feet in a Thai hot pot. I can't even begin to explain what a disaster that was for me and my housemates. Animal Products Co.'s ethics. Salmon. My dad force-fed it to me as a kid when he knew I didn't like fish. My step-siblings told me to dip it in ranch because it makes it so much better. I'm lucky I don't hate ranch too. Papaya juice. Literally tastes like my own puke. Fuck that fruit. Blue cheese, because it's disgusting.